And we can skip that. And here is one of those stores, and you can see that I have Melange margarine. This is the border, and just a few meters from the border is this. And it says you have to report if you smuggled something. That's the way it was. And my conclusion was this: peaceful coexistence, but the flags are flying in two different directions. And in a way, it's a natural condition. And 15 years later, it's deserted. Something has happened. Time has changed. And what has changed? I mean, Sweden, Norway, but in the world, other things have changed. And I'm trying here to put the lifelines of the German Democratic Republic, of Poland, and the German Federal Republic in a time-space framework, or rather in a time framework. But on this scale is authoritative and market system, and of course it's a very simplified picture. German Democratic Republic, formally 1990 or 91, moves from a very authoritative system into a market, more or less market system. Poland, which has a little bit, say, more liberal position, also turns into market system. And this has a very big impact on the relations, the cross-border relations. These are Swedes trying to cross the Estonian-Latvian border in 1992. And you can see it's just a barrack. And today it will be gone. Perhaps they built a very fine border station before Schengen entered. Okay. But now it was quite new. And if we move even further in time, you will see the disappearance of Yugoslavia and the very strange border relations. This is in Herzegovina and Croatia at this very strange Neum place, which makes Dubrovnik an exclave. This is a very simplified picture, but I think that we have, if you look at least American political geographies, in many of them Ratzel is not even mentioned. And if Ratzel is mentioned, it's in a rather negative way. Chilean, who started as a combined geographer and political scientist, but he was more like a political scientist. He wrote an article about the Swedish-Norwegian border in 1900. It's rather descriptive, but also quite interesting, unfortunately only in Swedish. And both of those people have been kind of hijacked by Nazi geopolitics. Well, it's very difficult to find. There are lots of stupidities in those books, but also very many interesting things. And this picture, which I took 1997, would be, I think, impossible today. First of all, to take this picture at all, and secondly, to find anybody who can cross over. This is a Eretz and Gaza border. Time. This is a very simple picture, but it shows the attraction of Berlin to people living in Szczecin and to some extent even Schnulze. If you want to fly away, if you want to, say, go to a concert or to the opera, you're there by train a little bit more than 2 hours. If you want to do the same in Warsaw, it takes more than 5 hours by the fastest train. I will show you a picture of Hasselhoff a bit later. This is also a development. Somebody said that you wouldn't be able to take a picture here. You have Belarus here. It's in the northern part of, northeastern part of Poland. And the Polish guard said that Belarus was invited to build the border station together with Poland. But of course, Minsk wouldn't allow that. This is time geography again, and this is not true, but we look at walkers in Białystok, and this was a time when the border was more or less open between Belarus and Poland. So people bought things on low price, and they started in the morning, but they never knew how long time it would take on the border. And I don't know if it took longer time on the Belarus border or on the Polish border, or maybe both. Then they had a few hours in Białystok to try to sell their products, and then they had to go back home. So this is an aspect of the border. Kristaller. Yeah. I suggested to Peter Balog that we could perhaps use Baltic Kristaller to develop a central place theatre. And people in the Stockholm department said, no, not Kristaller, those silly hexagons. So if you read Baltic Kristaller and forget about those silly hexagons, he has a discussion about space and behavior. How do people choose the place where they want to make their purchases? And he also discusses the impact on the border. Much of this is out of date since long, because now people may go to the place, they put themselves in the car and drive to an outlet or a big shopping mall, but it's still, there's still an impact, and you can use it as a basis for the impact of the border, because if people don't go to the nearest, it could be because they can either cross over and get lower price, or they are stopped on the border from buying something that is cheap. Well,